Okay, so I'm going to copy this code. And again, I'm going to put it in here. Okay. So that worked. My name is Robert. And again, I can print name out here also, but remember, we don't want to print name since it's an optional value unless we check to make sure that it's not nil, that there's really a name in the variable name here. Okay. And then variable shadowing text. Let's see here. So we have a function named exclaim that receives one string as a parameter. It's an optional string, and it says if let name equals name, print exclaim function was passed name. Okay, same function here, but it says guard let name equals name, else return. So this is the part where it returns or it exits the function if string is a nil. So if there is no name, then it just exits by returning out of the function, returns back to the place where the function was called. Otherwise, it prints this here. Okay, so this is shadowing using initializers. So we have a structure named person. The structure has two variable properties, name and age. And then we say let Todd. So Todd is a constant that we're creating. We're assigning person. So we're assigning this complex variable, and it's going to have Todd 50. So this constant in memory will have Todd and 50. Then we print Todd.name, Todd.age. So this is one way that we can create an instance of the structure and assign it the two values. Another way is the way we had done before, is we had created the init function inside the structure, and we said self.name, self.age. So it's talking about this name and this age. We're going to initialize it to the name passed and the age passed. So we use self. So that's another place that you've seen shadowing, is when we use the init function. Okay, so for this lab, you're going to complete lesson 4. So let's take a look at that. I'm in student resources, lesson 4. And I think I had played with this and I added this. Let me delete this. This is not in your... Okay. Yeah, this is how it comes. Okay, so how many? You've got 2 exercises, really short. So here's using a comment or print statement. You can describe why the code below will generate a compiler error if you comment line 10. So basically saying, if you uncomment line 10. So it's saying take out these two little lines right here, the two forward slashes, and run it, click the run button, and then explain the error. So you're going to get an error. And you want to explain with comments down here, explain why that gives you an error. Here it says using a comment or print statement, describe why both print statements below compile. So you want to say why this print statement compiles and this one compiles when similar looking code did not compile above. So basically they're asking you to compare this to this. Why does this work but this doesn't work? And then there are more questions. It says, in what scope is X defined? Here's X. What scope is it defined? So is it defined in a global or a local scope? And then in what scope is it modified? Is it modified in a global scope or in a local scope? So if I define something above this for loop here, I'm at the top here over line 6, and I modify it inside, then I define it as a global variable and I modify it as a local, which is a clue that maybe you shouldn't define it as a global variable. Then it says, in contrast, in what scope is foo defined and used? So where's foo defined? Let's see. Oh, it's talking about this foo right here. So, okay, so foo is defined, is it local or global? And is it modified locally or globally? Hopefully that makes sense. In the body of the function greeting below, use variable shadowing when unwrapping greeting. So greeting is optional. Name is not optional. And so you're going to do the whole unwrapping, and you're going to, it says if greeting is successfully unwrapped, print a statement that uses the given greeting to greet the given name. For example, hi there, Sarah. Like if their name is Sarah, hi there, Sarah. Otherwise, use hello to print a statement greeting the given name. Call the function twice, once passing in a value for greeting and once passing nil. Okay, so you want to do it both ways so you can test it out. So to call this function, you would put the code inside. To call it, you would say greeting. And one time you could pass it a name, like Joe. No, I'm sorry. Let's pass it the greeting and then the name. So it would be hi there. And then Joe. So once you pass it the greeting, when you pass it the name. And here's the name of the function. And then the other one, it said to pass it, otherwise use hello to print a statement greeting. So pass it nil here. So here you wouldn't have it. You would just pass nil and Joe. Okay. You have to add the code here so you know what to do. Okay. And the last one, it says create a class called car. It should have properties for make, model, and year. They're of type string, string, and int, respectively. Since this is a class, you'll need to write your own member-wise initializer. Use shadowing when naming parameters in your initializer. So you're going to do something like this, but you're going to do it with creating a class instead of a structure. So you'll have class, the name of the class, the 3 variables, and then the initializer for the class. If you've forgotten how to work with classes, you can go back to that lesson, which I cannot remember at this time what chapter that is, but we can look it up. Let's see. So you can go back to 2.4 and look to see how classes are defined. So see, here's our class, here's our initializer. Looks just like the structure. Okay. And then we have the second part. Read through, complete it, and email me if you have any questions. Thank you.